Jeff, what is the concept of Transcendent Breathwork? Can you share more with us about that?
Yes, Transcendent Breathwork is, well, let me back up and talk about just breathwork. And breathwork is used to describe how do we use our breath to bring about change, either physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. There's lots of different kinds of breathwork, and it's used for different purposes. Sometimes breathwork is used for relaxation. Breathwork can be used for focus and concentration. Breathwork can be used to bring about a change in our physical state, but also our emotional state and how we think. Transcendent breathwork is the name I use to describe the breathwork that we do. And the purpose of our breathwork is that it's really about how to bring about a shift in our consciousness, a shift in the way we think and the way we operate in our life. Transcendent breathwork is talking about how do I transcend, or how do I go beyond the consciousness I have right now and achieve a more expanded level of awareness, which allows me to become more effective, allows me to become more in tune in my life. Transcendent is a deep diaphragmatic breathing. So we use the breath we breathe into the diaphragm. It's a deep breathing. It's a continuous breath so that we're in and out. So it's an inhale and an exhale. And it's continuous. So it's not, you don't pause. And so in a way, it feels like a little bit of work in the beginning, at least. You start to work. But the result of transcendent breathwork has many different benefits to us. I think the main thing is it benefits us in a very physical way, which most people will talk about, that there's a lot of sensations, physical sensations. There's a release of a lot of tension, release of stress, of anxiety. So it benefits us on a physical level. It also benefits us emotionally. How do we regulate our emotional state? Many times, especially in society today, we find ourselves a lot of times in a more reactive state. So something happens, husband or wife gets upset and we react, or our boss is upset. There's lots of different ways that we tend to be in reaction, and the result of that is it builds up a lot of anxiety and tension in ourselves. How can you take control of that, rather than we just are in reaction and we blow up and we do whatever we do? But how do we do that? That's why we use the transcendent breath work, is to bring about that kind of change. And then there's also other benefits, like on a mental level, it's really becoming aware of our belief systems and the pattern that we have that we're automatically operating from. And by doing this kind of breath, you get an elevated view of yourself. You get outside of the way you normally think, and you can discover more about yourself and how you are living, and be able to form new attitudes and beliefs about our life. And then, we haven't really talked about this, but on a spiritual level, it's starting to be in an inquiry of who are we? Who are we really? Not just what we do every day, but to allow ourselves to become more aware of our true essence and the true sense of who we are as a human being in this world. A lot of times I think that we talk about that we see ourselves as physical beings, and every once in a while we may have kind of a spiritual experience. And our view is really more that we're more of a spiritual being having a very human experience. And if you have that kind of experience, it changes your perspective about life. Transcendent Breathwork is a very powerful, simple. It's simple, but you've got to experience it. It's not something that, it's not just a technique. It's a process that you need to learn and develop and practice. Like most things, if you want to be good at something, you've got to practice it. Transcendent Breathwork is something that you need to develop and practice, and that's what we teach in a training like Wisdom, or we have a Transcendent retreat, something like that. We teach the Transcendent Breathwork.